So the Sporty's been making some really weird noises since the last video where we went to Wales. It was a long trip, and after I came back it started making this noise. Not sure what it is, but I've tightened everything down on the bike. I've even started taking the heat shields off to see if it was that. I'm almost convinced now that it's something in the primary, so we're going to take it off and see what we find. I've never taken this off before. I've watched a couple of videos on how to do it. I thought this video might be useful to some people. So yeah, let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is remove this bolt from the bottom. That is a 5/8 spanner. Now whilst I'm doing this, I'm going to be checking the oil as it comes out for signs of metal fibers and things like that. There is going to be some on the inside of the drain plug. Don't worry about that. I mean, if there's a lot, worry about it. So I can't actually see anything worrying on there. See, you'll get some around just this little nub here, but nothing really worrisome there. Before we start taking any of this off to get at the clutch, we need to take all the slack out, or put slack in, I guess. And the way you do that is under this cover here. So you want to get a 1/2 inch for the bottom, and then a 9/16, I think it is, for this bit. Yeah. And then just, they'll be really tight, so just turn them like that. And then you'll be able to take this all the way up, all the way to the top. And this is part of your clutch adjustment. So then spin this little thing all the way up as well. And what you're doing is you're taking the tension off this line. What you'll see then is up at the clutch, it's lost all of its, see, it's just hanging, because that's where the tension comes from, or part of it. And we needed to do that before we take this off to make it easier to work on when we get in there, and also to reset it, because this, obviously, and that work in tandem. So if we're going to reset that, that has to be reset at the same time. So next we're going to take this off. I believe it's a T27 Torx bit. Yep, to take those off. Now, when you're putting them on, they say to do it in a star pattern. So I'm actually going to take it off in a star pattern as well, because why not? These bolts are literally made of dairy laid cheese. Like, they're pathetic. You can see mine starting to go already. They're going to be changed soon for a black cover, so I'm not that worried, but just don't over torque them. And if they're really tight, don't chew them up trying to get them out. When all the bolts are out, when you're in your last bolt, this is probably going to fall off. It might not, but it probably will. And also, you are going to get a bit of oil drip leakage underneath, especially if someone's overfilled your oil. I haven't really done content like this in a while, so if you want to see more of this kind of stuff on the channel rather than the short film kind of stuff I've been doing lately, then please let me know. Now, as far as your clutch adjustment goes, this little doohickey, this spring, it locks your adjustment in place. So when you take it out, the whole thing will very easily move. Okay, with that doohickey out of the way, we're going to loosen this all the way off, and you'll see in a second the adjuster coming off there, and eventually you'll be able to just thread it out, and then this whole clutch ramp will come out. Turn this 90 degrees to the right, and that comes off. Keep all of these away from any dirt and grime and stuff. And then this little tag for your clutch, or this little holder, just push it down, take it off. We're going to take the shifter peg off next. It's a 6mm bolt by the looks of it. What you might need to do, if yours is really tight like mine, is get a Phillips head and just prise it apart a little here. Boom. What I recommend, if you're going to take the peg off, go to the gym, do a couple of arm days, have a protein shake and come back. But you'll need this out the way to get this off. So Yeah. The last sort of external thing that you need to take off, well, you don't have to take off, is this. I'm actually not going to take it off because there's no need. I'm going to move the primary to about here and it's going to stay there till I've done what I need to do, and then I'm going to put it back. So I don't feel any need to actually take that off. What you do need to do, 100%, is take note of where each bolt is, because they are different lengths. What I've seen a lot of people do is get a piece of cardboard, draw this, and then put the cardboard through the holes. That's really smart. That's a lot smarter than what I am. And I haven't got any cardboard, I haven't got any time, so I'm just gonna figure something else out to make sure they all go back in the right place. Yeah, so long story short, I pussied out. I'm gonna do it exactly the way I've seen. So nice little drawing of the primary. I've got these for reference for where the bolts are at the bottom. As we pull the bolts out, we're gonna put them in this cardboard, and then we'll know where to put them back in when we're done. I just couldn't think of a smarter way of doing it than this, so that's why we're doing it this way. But first, at this point, it's time for a beer break. I need to have a beer in preparation for when I take this primary cover off and I find out how much this bike is going to cost me to fix again. Because it depends what's going on in there. Depends on how broke I'm going to be. Because I am moving house as well, you know. Please be something simple. Okay, so yeah, the idea is, that's that one. Pop it through. Now we know how to put it back in. And we're just going to repeat for the rest of them. What I'm going to do is get something to put underneath, because there is definitely going to be residual oil under there. So now we have like a map of where all those bolts go when we're putting them back on. And now we get the moment of truth. We should be able to take this off by pulling it out. If I swear after I've taken this off, it's because I've seen something that's going to cost me a lot of money. So make sure you've got a drink at hand, because this bike is going to make me an alcoholic. Okay, what are we looking at? So this is the inside of your primary. I've never seen mine. Now I'm going to do an inspection, because it's definitely making a weird noise and I don't like it.